The lie slipped out of her mouth as easily as a sigh. "Just out with Alana and Emily," she said, grabbing her keys from the hook by the door. A quick kiss on my cheek, a flash of her usually warm smile, and then she was gone. The scent of her perfume, the one I'd bought her for our anniversary, lingered in the air, a cruel reminder of the life we'd built, the life I thought we shared. But something felt off. A prickle of unease, a discordant note in the melody of our evening. It wasn't just a feeling. It was a collection of tiny inconsistencies that had been accumulating for weeks: hushed phone calls, late nights at work, a newfound preoccupation with her appearance. I'd dismissed them as my own insecurity, the byproduct of a demanding job and the pressures of a mortgage. But tonight, the dissonance was too loud to ignore. My phone buzzed. It was the notification from the Find My Friends app, an app we jokingly installed months ago, a testament to our supposed open communication. I clicked it, expecting to see her icon hovering around Alana's house, a comforting confirmation of her whereabouts. Instead, the blue dot blinked on the map, miles away, in a part of town I knew held nothing but cheap motels and all-night diners. My blood ran cold. The casual indifference with which she'd lied, the practiced ease of her deception, it all clicked into place with sickening clarity. A wave of nausea washed over me. I felt like I was drowning in my own living room. I had to see for myself. The drive was a blur. My mind raced, conjuring up scenarios, each one more painful than the last. When I arrived, her car was parked outside the motel, unmistakable beneath the flickering neon sign. I felt a strange detachment, like I was watching a movie of my own life. Taking a deep breath, I walked into the motel lobby. The clerk, a bored teenager with acne, barely glanced up. "Room 107, I said, my voice surprisingly steady. I knocked. Silence. Then, a muffled giggle. I knocked again, harder this time. The door swung open, revealing Alana, my wife, looking disheveled and flushed. Her eyes widened in shock. Behind her, a figure retreated into the shadows. "David," she stammered, her voice barely a whisper. I held up my phone, the blue dot pulsating accusingly on the screen. The blood drained from her face. She swayed, her eyes rolling back, and collapsed in a faint. The other man, Tucker, her colleague, emerged from the shadows. His face was a mask of fear and guilt. He looked like he'd seen a ghost. He hadn't seen a ghost, he'd seen the end of his world. "You," I said, my voice dangerously low. "Get out." He didn't need to be told twice. He scrambled out of the room, leaving Alana sprawled on the cheap, patterned carpet. I knelt beside her, a strange mix of anger and pity churning inside me. This woman, the woman I loved, the woman I'd built a life with, had betrayed me in the most devastating way. When she finally came to, I helped her to her feet. The drive home was silent, punctuated only by the occasional choked sob from Alana. The air in the car was thick with unspoken accusations and the wreckage of our shattered trust. That night, we slept in separate rooms. The silence of our house, once a comforting sanctuary, now felt like a tomb. I lay awake, replaying every moment of the evening, the lie, the location tracker, the motel room. The pain was a physical ache, a constant pressure in my chest. The next morning, I confronted her. The tears flowed freely as she confessed everything. An affair that had started innocently, a flirtation that had escalated, a desperate attempt to escape the monotony of everyday life. Her words, meant to explain, only deepened the wound. My decision was swift and absolute. I wanted a divorce. The legal process was brutal, a drawn-out battle over assets and custody of our dog, Buster. Alana fought me every step of the way, fueled by guilt and a desperate attempt to salvage some semblance of control. But I was resolute. The betrayal had cut too deep. I couldn't forgive her. I couldn't forget the image of her in that motel room, the look of shock on her face when she realized she'd been caught. My revenge, however, wasn't about legal battles or financial ruin. It was about reclaiming my life, about rebuilding myself from the ashes of our broken marriage. I threw myself into my work, channeling my pain into something productive. I started going to the gym, regaining the physical strength I'd neglected. I reconnected with old friends, rediscovering the joy of laughter and companionship. And then, I met someone else. Alana, a kind, intelligent woman with a warm smile and a genuine heart. She wasn't a replacement for Alana, but a new beginning, a chance to build a life based on honesty and trust. As for Alana and Tucker, their affair didn't last. The foundation of their relationship was built on lies and deceit, a shaky ground that couldn't withstand the weight of reality. Tucker, fearing repercussions at work, distanced himself. Alana, ostracized by our mutual friends, found herself alone, facing the consequences of her actions. Last I heard, she'd moved out of state, a ghost of her former self. I felt a pang of sadness, a fleeting memory of the woman I once loved. But the sadness was quickly replaced by a sense of peace, a quiet satisfaction that I had emerged from the wreckage stronger, wiser, and ultimately, free. The life I had with Alana, the life I thought I wanted, was gone. But in its place, a new life was blooming, a life filled with genuine connection, honest love, and the quiet strength of a man who had faced his demons and emerged victorious. The location tracker, a symbol of my suspicion and her betrayal, had ultimately become a catalyst for my liberation, a painful but necessary step on the path to finding my own happiness.